What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I got a bit of a requested topics video for you. Now, this topic has been requested to me from a good friend of mine for some time, so I feel like I need to get this shit out of the way. Apparently, a couple people out there would like to know exactly why I don't think Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is going to be any good, and why I think at this point in time it's going to suck. Now, my good friend has tried to convince me otherwise. He even sent me an article that I could read, which I just finished. And although it's a good article, my friend, it kind of takes a lot of questions I have and kind of just tries to push them to the side and say, well, look at these facts here. You know, don't think about this, think about this, because it's fact. Okay, so I'm going to get this out of the way. And I told you that it went way, way beyond casting. But I got to go through casting first. Number one, I actually like the Ben Affleck Batman casting. That one, I actually did like that one. I was definitely behind that one. Now, this whole Gal Gadot thing, I still don't like it. And even after I've seen a couple pictures of how she looks, because there have been some set photos of her, she didn't look like she got any bigger. And my biggest problem, it's not the look. It's just I would feel more comfortable if we had an actress, a real actress, that has experience. Real experience, not being in a couple of really repetitive Fast and Furious movies. And that's just not enough confidence to make me want to believe that she could pull off Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman is my all-time favorite female superhero. And she's also my third favorite superhero of all time. And even though I put her as number 3, in terms of respect, I would put her on the same level as Batman and Superman, because this is a team. The Trinity is the ultimate team that when I look at, I can say all 3 of these members could kick each other's asses. When I look at this, I'm like, okay, it looks like Henry Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman look about pretty even, but just picturing her as Wonder Woman kind of looks a bit like a joke. And, you know, if they can't even handle Wonder Woman seriously, which I don't think they will, because I'm convinced that maybe they want to sex up Wonder Woman. And if that's what they're going with, then I'm going to have some serious problems with these next couple number of films. So that's her out the way. The whole Jesse Eisenberg thing, I don't really care about it anymore. I mean, I recently saw one of his kind of like unknown kind of movies where he kind of was portraying like 2 personalities. And after watching that film, I was a little bit open to it. I mean, I don't really like their idea of what they want to do with Flex, but maybe I'll be wrong. I mean, that one I'm willing to be open up with. I think I would accept it a little bit more if I had an idea of who the second villain is going to be. Because if it's just him, then the way I think they're going to try to pull this is they're going to try to get Lex to have Batman take on Superman, and then while Lex is doing something else, and then Batman realizes there's an even bigger threat, and then they team up, and they take down Lex. That's not a very exciting storyline. They have to throw someone else in there, whether it's Metallo or something. So I really would feel better about this whole Jesse Eisenberg casting, him being Lex, if they would announce at least who another villain is going to be, because you don't put 2 superheroes to take on one. So I'm not so angry about that. So going past casting, my biggest problem about this film is, as your article stated, it also stated that, heck, just because they're putting Batman in there doesn't mean that, you know, Superman's going to be sidelined. It's not sidelined, I just feel like they added Batman for the wrong reasons. And your article even stated that, heck, the movie made almost $700 million. That's still no Dark Knight. It didn't break the $1 billion club, but it also stated that, heck, maybe afterwards, once Superman has some exposure in the Justice League team, that's going to make him more popular, and then he'll join it. Here's my big problem with that. I'm willing to acknowledge that, heck, I actually really liked Man of Steel, but I'm willing to acknowledge that it had a lot of problems. And I even said that the reason they're adding Batman is because if they went directly into a Man of Steel 2, because of kind of how the reviews were mixed for Man of Steel, about maybe close to half of the people that saw Man of Steel 1 will not be coming back for Man of Steel 2. So you need a reason to want to bring people in. So if we throw Batman in, because heck, we all know, everyone loves Batman, so they want to see the movie for Batman. And it's like, well, how can we add a little bit more? Well, let's throw Wonder Woman in there, and then let's throw Cyborg, and then, I mean, even though they're going to be a little bit cameos, they're going to be in this film. Maybe not much, but they're going to be in here. And we're going to set it up for Justice League. So, if people want to see Justice League, they have to go see this film, because heck, we all want to see Justice League, because heck, we want to have another Avengers experience, which I don't think it's going to be. And so, it's just the fact that I wish they had found a better way. I mean, I understand that you guys want to play catch-up to pretty much rival yourselves with Marvel, or Disney's Marvel. I understand that. I just kind of would have felt better if you had handled this a little bit more delicately. Now, going into the movie itself, I'll admit, Zack Snyder is not the best director, and I'm just not really fond of the idea that he's going to be doing Man of Steel, then Batman vs. Superman, and then Justice League. Because as we all have seen, the longer you stay with a franchise, let's just say your effort towards the movie kind of tends to dwindle. I mean, look at these series of trilogy films. I mean, look at Bryan Singer. I mean, this is kind of maybe a bad example, but he did X-Men 1 really good. He did X-Men 2 really good. And then he didn't want to do X-Men 3, and he went off to do Superman. I mean, I know this doesn't really count, but look how that came out. And then we look at Sam Raimi. Spider-Man 1, good. Spider-Man 2, great. Spider-Man 3, trash. And so it's just, it's kind of that crazy conspiracy theory going around that when you get to the third film for the director, things might go downhill. And I think that with Justice League, that's just too much of a risk factor that, he could seriously drop the ball. Because although he's not really the best storyteller, I think anyone who's watched his films can admit that. He's not really the best person for story. He's more of a visual director. And, that's cool. You want good visuals. But if you want to tell a good Justice League story, and we're going with Zack Snyder, that just kind of gives me a feeling that in terms of the type of Justice League story, or the type of story I want to be told for the DC Cinematic Universe, we're not going to get that with Zack Snyder. And above anything, I put story above everything. And if you can't give me a good story, then it can't really be likable. Now, I just got through seeing Days of Futures Past for the 5th time. And after seeing that, I'm pretty confident with my statement that I made in my X-Men Days of Futures Past review that there's no way in hell either of these two films are going to have stories as good as that. So my expectations for both those films have already dropped significantly. They might still be fun movies, but I don't think they're going to be great films. And if they're not going for great, if they're just going just to make money, well, then they'll absolutely succeed. But we can't also forget that, heck, Batman vs. Superman has to go head-to-head with Captain America, because a lot of us want to have both those movies come out the same day. We're not sure who's going to want to move. We're not sure. I think if Warner Brothers wants to play this smart, I think they should move. Because if they really try to go head-to-head with Captain America, and Captain America is going to be the first film after Avengers, and Captain America is done exceptionally well in that film, then you can't deny that Captain America is going to take a huge bite out of the box office draw of Batman vs. Superman. And they really need to have that movie make as much money as possible on that day. So to have Captain America take some of that away, that kind of is going to hurt the film in the long run. And as we've seen from this summer's set of movies, you only seem to have maybe 1 week to get as much money as you can, because by the next week, you're going to suffer a major drop. And then it's going to be, unless you had a really good start, you're going to have a hard time making your money back. And it really depends on how much money they're going to put into this film, how much money they're going to put into marketing, how much money they're going to put into promotions. A lot of things, a lot of factors. And really the final thing that I want to state in terms of just why I'm just not pumped for this film is that as we go forward and we throw all these extra elements with these extra members of the Justice League, my greatest fear is that Warner Brothers is going to start stepping into a realm that I don't think they can tell properly. I mean, the biggest difference that I've always felt between Warner Brothers and their cinematic universe and Disney's Marvel with theirs is that Disney's Marvel can have fun with itself because it's not being taken seriously. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of Marvel, is that you're not supposed to take it seriously. You're supposed to just have fun with it. And I think that that's certainly a much more attractive idea for getting in larger crowds. While Warner Brothers has always tried to be kind of realistic. And as we all saw, they tried to do the whole Nolan tactic with Man of Steel, and that really didn't work. Maybe because it would be really difficult to tell a story like that with Superman. Now, I'm not sure if they want to still go with the whole, we want to keep things in a realistic tone, but as you add these extra elements, like you want to add the Green Lantern Corps, and then we have to bring in Flash, and then I don't know, maybe they might want to bring in Aquaman. You're kind of throwing in elements which are kind of hard to believe, and they kind of go into Marvel's department, which is, they are king of that department. And that's just my greatest fear. My greatest fear is that they're going to be so tempted to want to be Marvel that they're going to forget what makes their movies different from Marvel. And if that's all they're going for, then heck, I can just stick with Marvel, because heck, they have mastered this type of storytelling better than anything Warner Brothers can do. And maybe the Justice League is just not the type of department that can actually tell a realistic story. And if they're not going for realism, then that's fine. I can accept that, but I'm not going to like it, because I've seen that you can actually tell realistic stories in the comic books and do them incredibly well justice. And if that's not what they're going for, then I have no reason to be really pumped up for this film. Am I going to see it? Absolutely. Am I going to like it? Heck, there's a possibility. There's a good chance I'm going to like it. But I don't think I'm going to love these films. I'm not going to want to go see them multiple times. And heck, if that's what they're going for, then, you know, fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to see these films, but don't expect me to really give them praise. Don't expect me to have the same type of experience I had when I went to go see The Dark Knight for the first time, which arguably is probably one of the best movie experiences I've ever had. If they're not going for that, then that's fine. My feelings towards these movies is just the fact that I don't believe they're really going to be putting in as much effort. That's really what it comes down to, because they're making them for the wrong reasons. They want to make them for money, that's fine. If you want to make these movies to play catch-up, that's fine. But are you really going to try to tell the best story you can? That's where I think their heart is just not in it. And that's why I'm just not too pumped up for them. Maybe my opinion will change. Maybe once we see a trailer, or more pictures, or maybe when I finally go see it, maybe I'll be wrong. I'm hoping I'll be wrong. I like it when I'm wrong. I like going into a movie thinking it's going to suck, and then it ends up being absolutely amazing, because that makes me like the movie even more. And maybe that's what's going to happen. But as it stands right now, I'm not pumped up for either one of these films. I still need to see more. My opinion can obviously change over times, but as it stands right now, I'm not pumped up for these films. So I really would like to hear your guys' opinion. Are you guys pumped up for these films? Or do you have certain concerns that you have towards these films? Do you guys still have hope that these films are going to be great? Tell me your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. And if you like this video, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to check my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.